Grand Rising, wonderful souls, and welcome to Bronwen's Code Tarot. This is a timeless collective reading on what is coming forward. If you are a new face, welcome in. If you're an old one, welcome back, my lovelies. Nice to see you. Thank you for your likes, your shares, your comments and your subscribes. Thank you for your donations. They are truly, truly appreciated. And thank you for your emails. Emails of confirmation, emails just sharing your stories, and emails booking readings. My readings are now open. There is a 48 to 72 hour turnaround time for all of my readings, bar my emergency ones. They go out within 12 to 24 hours. With that being said, there is still someone going through the comment section here and there pretending to be me, pretending to be a friend, pretending to be a light one, pretending to be an old lady who can get lots of money on crypto. Please don't be fooled. I mean, what these people are coming up with now, they think they're being genius. Just keep your eyes peeled. If you have any response, especially saying, I made so much money on crypto. Oh my gosh, all you've got to do is contact this random Russian number on WhatsApp. You know you're being scammed, okay? If you see any message from me without a highlighted black banner, it is not me that you're talking to either. Please just block and report kindly, and thank you. Now, the energy that I pick up on is fluid and timeless, meaning I can be picking up on past, present or future energy, or an amalgamation of all three. Please make sure that you take what resonates and leave the rest. If I say he, she, male, female, masculine or feminine, we hold all of these energies. So this reading could be for you. It could be for the person you're thinking of, another light one, divine counterpart, or someone completely different. Please do not make the story fit if it does not. If the story is not yours, if you do not see any messages in this for you, please have a look at some of my other readings, and if they do not resonate, you may need a personal reading. The only way to get a personal reading from me is by looking in the description box down below. There are 2 emails. Okay, with that being said, let's get into this. Now, I was actually asking my guides what they would like as a channeled message, and they just told me to look through the comments section in my community board. So I did, and I came across someone asking about why is it that we have to cut out so many people from our lives? And I thought that it was a really pertinent question and quite important also for us to kind of delve into. So I thought, rather than just messaging on there, that we could do a reading and just see what our guides, our highest resonance light team members would like us to know about this, because especially as we find out more about ourselves, the more that we start to ascend, our vibrations change. And so the people that are around us, they either are moving with us or they're only there for a certain amount of time, if that makes sense. But let's see what wants to come out. Okay, so with that in mind, why do we, oh, look at that, even before I finish the question, priorities. And this is the thing, because we're prioritizing ourselves, we're prioritizing our needs, and by doing so, it helps us to heal. It helps us to grow. And you have to remember that sometimes we have friendships that are of circumstance. So you could have childhood friends, you can have friends from school, friends from work, you know, family friends, but they're not people that we choose for ourselves. It's who we choose at that time, because they're in the same environment, or because at that point in our life, that's what our identity links to. And now with priorities on the back, it says the quality of your life is determined by how you spend your time. Make sure your schedule reflects the life you want. So as people are falling away, or, you know, become distant, or it might even be that they ghost you, or the friendship that you had breaks down because you were putting more in than they were, it's when you are starting to prioritize yourself, you know. Otherwise, you have some friends. For example, I've had a friend for over 20 years that I made friends with at work. And it was a rarity, because I'm the type of person that I'm very, very sociable, but I like my own space. And I know that as I was going through certain ascensions and spiritual awakenings and dark nights of the soul, that there are certain people that will understand at the core what that is and what you're going through, and other people who haven't awoken yet, or haven't started that healing journey for themselves, or on a completely different pace when it comes to their healing journey, and they just did not vibe with me in that way, if that makes sense. And you end up wearing a mask, like when you are in your workplace with certain family members, for example, with certain friendship groups, if you go to college or uni or this or that, you wear a certain mask to set an identity that fits into the norm of that society or that group. It's when you start going, I don't want to wear a mask anymore. I actually don't want to wear a mask at all, because here, look, With calm, it says a breakdown is often followed by a breakthrough. Remain calm. There's a turning point in our lives where we go from, I'm wearing this mask because it fits society, I can't say the word, social economic norms. That when I go to this place, I have to act in a certain way, I have to dress a certain way, and when I'm over here with this group of people, I have to act this way. There's a turning point in our lives, and that's usually when we have either our first spiritual awakening or one of those spiritual awakenings where we go, no, I'm comfortable just not wearing one and just being me, even if it's awkward or I come across as odd or eccentric or weird. And I've been called eccentric so many times in my life, and not by the people that have ended up being my long-standing friends, because that word eccentric is just saying that you're a bit of an oddball, you know. And I'm not an oddball, I am just me. And I think that's part of the reason why we end up culling, in other words, certain chords or certain connections, because we hold on to them because of comfortability, not because that person or that place or that memory or that experience actually pushes us forward to be in our truest form. We end up dimming our light in certain experiences or certain friendships and certain dynamics. And there comes a point where we just go, I have to prioritize myself. And as selfish as that seems, it's because in society, we are told to stay in our lane. Do not reach too high, do not go too low, just stay in your lane. So the minute that you prioritize yourself fully, put yourself first, put your priorities first, put your mental health first, put your, you know, ensuring that you have those foundations so that you can grow. Because by putting putting yourself first, and prioritizing yourself first, it means that if your foundations are balanced and your foundations are strong and you know who you are at a better advantage to be able to help others, to be able to shine that light for others. Now on the back here, look at that, and we were just talking about that. You've got shine upside down, and it says don't dim your light. The world needs your unique talents and gifts. Shine brightly. Unfortunately, as we go through life, and like I said, we will shine our light in certain, to certain heights, okay? And it really depends on who it is that we're mirroring, because you have to remember, the people that we have around us, the people that we form friendships with, whether it's circumstantial or a true friend, we look for someone who has the same qualities as us or similar qualities, because you wouldn't have a friendship group that are just a bunch of a-holes or just horrible people, because what does that say about us? We look for people that match our vibes, that have similar mindsets or similar values and things like that. And as we start to ascend, as we start to find more of ourselves and start to work through our shadow, the more we start to see that there are many people that have been in our lives that aren't working on themselves, that are still at that surface level. And I say that without judgment, because maybe it's not their time to have their, you know, their first spiritual awakening, or to wake up to the fact that we are co-creators. Everything that happens in our life, we co-create that. And all of us that, you know, have small friendship circles or have no friends at all because we've had to break, you know, cut them away, or certain family members, we're co-creators in that, but there's a reason for that. When we remove certain things that stifle us, we make more space for the things that are supposed to be there. So it doesn't mean, and this is just my opinion, it doesn't mean that for the rest of our lives, it's just us, or that one other friend, or that, you know, you've only got, let's say, 2 friends. It doesn't mean that for the rest of your life you'll only have 2 friends, because the more you are cutting away the things that don't resonate, the things that make you dim or have to fit in a certain way, or wear a mask to be appropriate in certain places, the more you remove that, the more you're telling the divine and the universe, I know who I am, and now I'm ready for people who match my vibration, people, places, experiences, to also come into my life. Okay, because I went to read this one, on the back is optimism upside down. There's something here also with the people that we've had to remove from our lives, and sometimes it's very, very painful, because you've also got alleviate or elevate, sorry, upside down. Those are the people that, you know, I look back at certain friendships that I no longer have, and I can see the times that I had really good times with them, but they're in a completely different place from me right now, and I wish them well, I send them love, But that's a cycle that I don't need to be in anymore, because I learned something. And every experience that we have, every friendship that we do have, or family member that, you know, dysfunctional or not, we learn and we grow from that. If we didn't learn and we didn't grow from that, we'd still be experiencing that dysfunction. We'd still be trapped in that relationship. And with optimism upside down and in action, it's the lack of their own action to take responsibility for what's happening in their life. But you have to also look at it through the lens of compassion, that some people have not woken up. They're not spiritually awake, so they're still in that days of things just happening to them, that there aren't any signs and synchronicities, they're just coincidences. So that kind of means that you lead your day by what happens to you, rather than you setting the intention of how it's going to be. So that those people are still stuck in their own cycles. They're still going through, you know, the universe is still showing them the same things, the same type of people, the same things that will teach them a certain lesson that will help them to heal. And if they do not take that actionable step to do it, it means they'll always be there. And that's the reason why they're not in our lives right now. Because optimism says, if you're going to make up stories in your head about people and circumstances, please make them love stories with happy endings. Now, you have to think back to like the people that you have removed from your life, or you've distanced, or they ghosted you, because sometimes it's not us that goes, no, I've learnt this lesson, I need to move away. Sometimes it comes in the form of a tower. It could be losing that job. It could be breaking up with that person. It could be no longer talking to a family member and they ghosted you. But the universe puts towers on our path when we don't see the signs, when we are too wrapped up in our human experience, forgetting that we're spiritual beings. And then we have that tower, we lose that job, or we find out that person was cheating, or this happens, or that happens. And it's because we were going the wrong way and we're redirected. Okay, because action upside down says baby steps are still steps. They're better than standing still. Some of the people that were in our lives were standing still. And again, I don't say that with judgment, because at some point in our lives, we weren't spiritually awoken. Okay, we can be religious. You know, I'm not religious, I'm omnist. But we can be religious and go to church or go to temple or go to, you know, but not be spiritually awoken, if that makes sense. And then there are others who, from a very young age, have been spiritually awoken, but that's a rarity. So for the most of us, for the majority of us, there's been a point when we were this, when we were just governed by the things that were happening to us, when we couldn't see that our emotions are just, they're not us, they are our thoughts, and it was all encompassing. And that's what was keeping us held, because you've got truth up on here upside down. And then you've also got invitation upside down, which is more or less just saying that those who are no longer on our path, the reason they're not on our path is because they're still stuck in a matrix. They're still under that illusion that, you know, for example, there was also part of the message of what the commenter had said in the community board, because I found it all very interesting, and I'm always open and, you know, I welcome in any type of discussion, because I'm always here to learn more. And, you know, as much as I know that you guys learn from me, I learn from you as well. But talking about abundance, and many people do see abundance as money, but abundance isn't what's in your pocket. Abundance is what is in your mind and what's in your heart. Because when you start matching and vibrating with the law of abundance, that's when anything that you need, or anything that you feel like is lacking, because you've changed that into gratitude, will come in. Now here, with truth, elevate, and invitation upside down, the reason why we go it alone for so long is because those that are around us, they are still inviting in, almost like the illusion that you can't have more, that there are limitations. That, and again, sticking with those socio-economic kind of norms of you have to work this job for this amount of time of your life to be able to get this, this and this, not knowing that yes, you do have to put hard work in, and yes, you have to take actionable steps, but vibration, frequency, intention, they are so key in manifesting what you want in your life. And do you know what I read somewhere, and I found it really interesting, because it kind of got my mind, like, it got my mind thinking about things that I'd never thought of before. When you think of a light worker, a chosen one, a light one, do you ever question why they're not in the same place? So for example, how is it that I don't have another light worker in the same apartment complex that I live in, or just down the road? Or they're more or less spread across the globe. So there will be many of you in America, many of you in India, many of you in Africa, in Asia, spread all the way around the globe. The reason that we are not all in one tight little unit just next to each other, all happy days, is because as we are awakening ourselves to who we are, the more light that we're inviting in, the more that we're healing ourselves, we spread that out like a ripple. Okay, so if you think of the globe, if we were all, let's just say in America, on one tiny little town just there, how are we going to reach everybody else? How are we going to inspire and light up other people? And yes, it is all energetic and it does go through the ethers. But you know what? The divine, universal, life source, God, Allah, whoever you wish to name it as, has placed us where we are on purpose. Nothing is done by coincidence. It's done it on purpose. Okay, and on top of that, the more that we're healing, the more that we're growing, the more that we're lighting up and figuring out what our life purpose is, then we will start connecting at specific points on our timelines in this life to others. But there's specific times that we can do that in our lives. There's certain things that we have to learn and grow from before we connect with others. Okay, and think about it. Think about before there was the internet. How did people connect? We're so lucky to be in this era of technology, because without the internet, I wouldn't have found you guys. You wouldn't have found me. You wouldn't have found other things. Do you know what I mean? Across the globe that you can find with the touch of a keyboard to take you across the world to find information on Akashic records or on history or on, manifestation, for example. Now, on here with Elevate, it says, you get what you believe you deserve. It's time to raise your standards. There's there you go. Look, those that are no longer with you are no longer with you walking your path because they're still finding out how to shine themselves. They're still trying to fight through that darkness of the criticism in your own mind, the trauma that triggers out emotional wounds when certain things are said, and that defense mechanism comes up. And because of that, it invites in more drama and chaos and those kind of things into their lives. But as you're learning and you're growing, your energy doesn't match that anymore, and it won't match that. It will never match that again. Okay, and it doesn't matter if now and again we dip back into that, because again, it's human to error and we're still learning, growing. But whoever it is that's no longer in your life, whether that's a friend, whether that's a family member, whether that's that work colleague, they have to be inviting in the energy that they want. Okay, and they have to be doing that on a conscious level. And as much as we may dip into that and then go, hey, what's going on there? Reevaluate that. I'm doing it for this, this, and this. And then we raise back up again. Those that are no longer in your life, they've still got to learn that. They've still got to wake up, because it says here, the words you speak are an invitation to life, a request to bring energy into form. Choose your words carefully. Some people don't know this. All right. Some people aren't at that stage of learning and healing and growing, that our words hold so much power, that our words can, our words can cut someone down or can heal that person and make them feel safe. Because you've got here, look, exactly, intention. Intention is so important. Now, what else would I like to get up? I've been told to get this out as well. Let's have a look. Let's see what would like to come out. Tell me more about optimism and truth. Why are those in reverse? And here you've got Star Mother. How can you mother yourself? And I asked for here. Okay, so there's something here with many people that we've had to leave behind are still unaware that they have wounded inner children, that they have wounds at all. Because the thing is as well, the shadow, when you're walking down the street and the sun is shining, how many of us actually look down at our shadow? The only ones that really do that are children. Children will play with their shadows. They'll play peekaboo. They'll try and outchase their shadows. They'll try and jump on their shadows. They'll try touching their shadows. They are the only ones that invest time and love and fun into their shadows. We as adults We get so used to just looking ahead or looking up or looking behind or looking at our watch or looking at our phone that we don't see our shadow. And those that have been left behind, those that are on different paths to us now, you know, whether that's you haven't spoken to that person in 10 years, 2 weeks, you know, or a year before, however it is that that relationship ended, those people, that is the question for them. How can you mother yourself? There's something here with the way that they speak to themselves that they need to work on, that they need to lift themselves up with, okay? And there's that mantra of, you know, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. It's the same with, it's not our job to fix everyone. It's not our job to heal everyone. It's our job to heal ourselves so that we can inspire others to do the same, to inspire. That is the key word. And this is the reason why we walk alone for so long. Okay, because you've also got soul family. You've got soul family, call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. Wow. And then underneath you've got deep replenishment, retreat, rest and be held. The more that we have faith in ourselves and the more we have faith in, you know, the divine, whether you see that as God, Allah, divine life source, God, goddess, the more that we do that, the more we call to our soul family. Okay, there are, this is my opinion, this is not fact, okay, but it's my opinion that we have specific things that we have to do, and that when you look at your Akashic records, whoever it is that writes our Akashic records for us, that notes down every action, intent, word, thought, you know, choice that we make, there will be key things that we will go through. No matter what choice we make, it always bends back to it. But there are also certain things that will help us connect with our soul family. So it may be that we have to go through a certain amount of dark nights of the soul, or there's certain karmic cycles that we have to learn from, past karmic debt or ancestral bloodline debt, that once we've cleared it at this age, at this specific age for this person, once that has been removed, boom, soul family member is then going to be able to connect. Either that's through work, it might be through love, it might be through, you know, going on that business retreat and meeting someone that you click like that, and there's one soul family member that comes in. Okay, and with this deep replenishment, retreat, rest and be held, it's a hard job that light workers do. It's a hard job because, you know, you're contending against all these other energies that want to stop you from shining bright. Okay, so you're being told not only by, you know, the divine, but also, look, keepers of the earth, you're not alone, ancient ancestors stand beside you, which is beautiful. It's just saying keep forging forward, because it's always, you know, it's easy for us to look back and go, do you know what, how am I on this path on my own, like physically on my own, knowing that our ancestors are there, knowing that angels are there, but on our own. And I can look back to my uni days, you know, and look back at the amount of people that I used to hang out with and laugh with and go out with and so on and so forth. And I look now, none of them were true friends. I literally have one friend from uni, and that is going back 15-20 years ago, that we're still tight, we still get on, we're still, you know, because that person, she's my soul sister without a doubt. And everyone else falls away for a reason. Okay, it's not because you aren't worthy of having friends. It's not that you're not worthy of having love. It's that those people, and the thing is, I've heard this saying before, that rejection is also your protection. There's a reason why certain people aren't continuing on your path with you. Okay, especially if we are learning from these karmic cycles and we're setting up healthy boundaries, it's because they're not supposed to be. They still have their life lessons to learn, they still have their healing to learn, and keeping those people in your life, especially if they don't lift you up, especially if that relationship is not, you know, is not in equilibrium, especially if that relationship is getting you to wear a certain mask, to, you know, set a certain identity of carer, of counsellor, of constantly have to being someone's cheerleader, or constantly having to be submissive because the other person walks in their ego. They're not supposed to be there. They're literally not supposed to be there. And also, look what came out, starseed. What lights you up? And then keepers of the earth, you are not alone, ancient ancestors stand beside you. A lot of people feel, and this won't be for all, okay, only if it resonates with the actual label of starseed, is growing up feeling like you didn't fit in. or feeling like you had to try really hard to fit in, and even when you did that, not knowing if you got it right or not, because it wasn't authentic and it wasn't fluid, if that makes sense. And that's because those who are star seeds, they weren't born, their first life wasn't born here on this earth, on this crystalline grid of Mother Gaia. It was born on a star, you know, a star system far away. It could be I don't even know if I'm saying these right. Lemuria, Pleiades, Sirius. There are so many, Arcturia. But when you weren't first born or brought into corporeal form here, you're always going to feel like you don't belong here, if that makes sense. And the plight of the starseed is that many starseeds are also light workers or light ones, and so they have more capacity to hold more light than others. But to hold more light, you have to fight through a lot more darkness, a lot more trauma, a lot more tumultuous energy to really vibrate that light. And that's also part of us walking a path that doesn't always, it's not always fun. It's not always, you know, prosperous light and stuff like that, because we have to go through all of these things to learn why we're here, so we can inspire others. And that's another reason why other people fall away, because they aren't at the same stage. They may not have the same life mission, because we don't all have the same life mission. Some of us have double missions. One may be to, you know, to raise the collective consciousness vibrations. You may also have a second mission that is completely and utterly personal to you. Okay, because look, yeah, the crumbling, what are you clinging on to? You are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. Someone may actually be going through, it's not just a tower. I'm getting like a dark night of the soul for someone here. And I've said this before, dark nights of the souls, they're not pleasant. They're not, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They're uncomfortable. They can be, they can cause anxiety. They can cause you to stress out. Remember, I'm not a therapist. I can only speak from my own experience. They can be quite isolating. But when you come out the other side, which can be anything from, I don't know, it could be a couple of weeks for some people, and for others it could be a full year. You know, you've got to take it as it resonates. But it is life-changing, because it is life-altering. It changes who you are, because you're more or less shedding the skin of the person that you used to be. And the reason why it can be so personally painful is because you have to let go of old attachments, old relationships, old friendships, certain family members, for example, jobs. And it may be that you had what you thought was your dream job, and you end up having to walk away from it completely, maybe even changing complete industry, simply because you look back and go, actually, I was conforming to somebody else's needs, or I was, you know, conforming to someone else's expectations. And if it's a friendship as well, I stayed in this friendship because I wanted that friendship to work more than the other person did. Or I've realised how dysfunctional this is, and actually I give way more than that other person does. And it may not even be that. It could be I'm seeing that person's trauma. I'm seeing that person. I can see their triggers, and no matter what advice I give, they don't listen. That's why it's so painful. Okay, but it does say on here, and this is the energy that I've been feeling when I was channeling this this message, is that especially if you are an empath or highly sensitive, if you are somebody that, you know, really does feel energy from others, it's so important to ground yourself. It is so important to do this on a daily basis. And for someone, it can be as simple as just seeing a white bubble around you. For others, you may wish to have grounding meditations, guided meditations, clearing transmissions, or just going out in nature on a daily basis. And I say this in a lot of my videos. If you do not have access or time because you work or because you have children or other duties to get outside in nature, bring it into your home. Bring it into your home. I don't have a garden. I live on, you know, I live in a high-rise apartment. I don't have a garden, but I have plants everywhere. I know these ones are plastic, but I have cacti everywhere. I have all these plants everywhere, and I make sure that I go outside. Okay, so if you can't get outside, make sure that you are finding grounding techniques that work for you, especially at this time of ascension. And the things as well is that we've had a shift in, you know, the vibrations of the earth since, I think it's like summer of 2019. It's slowly, the crystalline grid, the matrix of the crystalline grid has been slowly dissolving to make way for a new ascended 5D grid. And that's going to be really uncomfortable. When you think of like from 2019 to now, how much crap we've had on the news, how much kind of like, and I love this word, I know I do, discombobulation energy, you know, chaotic energy happening that we see on social media, that we see in the news. That, for me personally, is part of the fact that this energy shift is happening. And some people are aware of it and some people aren't. So make sure that you are getting yourself grounded. There's something also here with, there's a card in here called Cracked Open. It's happening for you, not to you. This is a mantra that, as much, sometimes it can sound really condescending when someone goes, well, it's happening for you, not to you. It is happening to you. You feel it, you're going through it, you're experiencing it, but it's also happening as a lesson to help you grow, okay? And look, trust the niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? I think this is for those who are questioning, why is it that you're having to go it alone? Okay, because the more you ask, not just yourself, but your higher self, that, you will get that answer. But it comes from stillness. And I keep getting the message that someone here needs to meditate. They should be doing it every day. And it doesn't have to be an hour of you sitting there with your legs crossed, with your eyes closed, going, Om. It doesn't, okay? It can be that 5 minutes where you go and have that bath. Or when you get home from work and you take your shoes off and you just close your eyes for that 5 minutes before you have to go into the business of your home, or before you have to finish off paperwork, and that you just close your eyes and you let whatever comes to your mind come to your mind and do that bit of breath work. But someone here needs to be doing this daily, because something that did come up also was someone needs to strengthen the shield around their auric field. Because I heard the word nicks and wounds, to like cleanse your aura daily, whether that is through sage, whether you have certain crystal that you like using, whether it's just words of prayer, but someone here needs to energetically be cleansing their auric field. Now, there is a clearing transmission or guided meditation that helps with that. If you're interested in that, please let me know. It's not mine, it's by somebody else on YouTube. I'd love to claim it as my own, but it's not. But have a look at that if that resonates, because I make sure every morning that I am doing a grounding meditation or a protective meditation, and it's just become my daily routine before, you know, in the morning when I wake up and when I go to sleep. Just to cleanse away the junk, the clutter, the kind of lower astral and earthly kind of energies of the stress of the day, or other people's energies that you may have picked up on. That seems to be key also. Now, anything else that would like to come out? Look, trust the niggle and answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? This is just confirmation of what I said, of connecting with yourself, especially if that question of why is it that we have to walk this path alone, or why do we walk this path alone for a certain amount of time in our life. I think that's really, really important, and meditation seems to be key in this, because the more you still your mind, and I heard for someone automatic writing, but the more you still your mind, the more that answer will come to you, especially on a personal level, because the messages that are coming through are for the collective. But if you as an individual are like, okay, but I want to know more, I want to know more about how I connect that in for myself. Connecting with your ancestors, connecting with through your intuition, whether that is through automatic writing, whether that is just, you know, journaling and letting what comes up, whether that is guided meditation. And I keep hearing sound baths for someone. Someone may actually benefit from buying their own tuning fork and a little bowl and using that to help cleanse. That may give you focus and give that channel, that clearer channel for your ancestors to give you key information, especially when it comes to this walking this path. Okay, yeah. And look, as I say that, break the chain, ancestral patterns, healing, rewriting the future. Anything else that would like to come out? Because this one, I wanted it to be very focused just on that question that was asked, rather than allowing other energies to come in about what the clowns are doing in the background. Do you know what I mean? So let's see. Anything else that would like to come out? Any advice? Any general advice for the collective consciousness, especially when it comes to us walking this path? Anything that would like to come out, please and thank you. And it says here, sometimes things we thought lost can come back to us, and it's upside down. This is also, look at that. When we close that door completely to those that no longer resonate with us, and sometimes people don't resonate with us because they're absolutely mental and they are doing witchcraft against us. And when I say mental, I am not in any way, you know, spitting on anyone with mental health issues. I'm just using that as a word. But, you know, sometimes, you know, we move away from people because they have malicious intent against us. And sometimes we just move away from people because they no longer resonate with us and they're on a different path, or we just drift apart, you know. Sometimes that just happens. You're being told also, though, look, with sometimes things we thought lost can come back to us. With it upside down, someone here needs to have a look into their heart space and what it is that they're holding on to when it comes to past timelines with friendships or old loves, you know, that old job, whatever it is for you, because there's still a heart wound that's holding on to this. But there's a double meaning here now that I look at this. Healing that is what's going to bring in a lot more self-empowerment, especially with specific things with receiving and giving love, and how that connects you to your soul family coming in. And let's see, anything else that would like to come out. Ooh. And it says here, look, making new friends takes bravery, but it's worth it. This is what I mean. This is going to come in. This is not us walking the path for the rest of our lives alone in solitude. And you have to remember that for us, it's a lifetime, or it's a year, or it's 6 months. But to our guides, to those that are writing our Akashic records, it's a blink of the eye, because we make time linear. We created the clock. We said that it goes past, present and future. Every other realm, it's happening all at the same time. It looks like a blip to them, and they're like, oh, just another blip. And then look at that blessing comes in, that soul family person comes in, then this happens. But to us, we see it as a lot longer. Because you've also got on here Zadkiel, Archangel Zadkiel, motivation. Long-term goals are great, but we often reach them in tiny steps, set achievable goals, and it's upside down. Okay, so someone here needs to be focusing on just taking time for themselves, because we get so kind of like what's the word, riled up that we have to be go, go, go. We have to constantly be moving. You constantly have to be doing something. Create, 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 produce, produce, produce. But you're being told, someone here is being told to slow down. Slow down. Because if we don't slow down, we can end up setting the intention that we don't actually want. Because here it says deep replenishment, retreat, rest, be held. And then motivation's upside down. So there's something here with someone's guide or ancestor asking them, what is it that you want on your path? Who is it that you want to walk with you on your path? Be very specific or clear about that, and then send out gratitude to the universe like you've already got it. And that's going to bring your soul tribe in even quicker. Because look at this, guidance, and it's upside down, Raphael. Sometimes the answer to our most vital questions come in thoughts, feelings and dreams, and it's upside down. So someone here may have a little bit of a blocked third eye or blocked crown chakra, because you've got a lot of purple coming out here. And then going back to this one with calm, and it says, a breakdown is often followed by a breakthrough. Remain calm. Now, going through Mercury retrograde, okay, it's already got funky energy, hasn't it? I think that also the energy or the kind of encouragement that's coming from your guides, from your highest resonance light team members, is to take time to rest, okay? Be productive. You know, if you've got to go to work, you've got to go to work. But don't push yourself too hard to know all the answers. Don't be too hard on yourself that you don't know all the answers. I don't know all the answers. I literally just relay the messages that come through. Now, you've also got on here forgiveness, and it's in reverse. And this is Zadkiel. Staying angry is easy. It's letting go that takes work. Now I want to put this one here because someone is holding on to something. It may be something that was said from a past relationship. The relationship for you may still have the relationship and it's strained. But there's something here about forgiveness, and it doesn't have to mean that you have to say, you know, you have to accept that sorry from the other person. It's more like the energy of that Hawaiian mantra, Ho'oponopono. And in it, it's more or less you giving yourself that opportunity and space to forgive yourself for kind of placing so much energy on that situation, that person, on all that emotion, and being able to let go of it with love. If that resonates, please have a look. You can find it on YouTube. There's many variations with different music in the background, but Ho'oponopono got me through some really rough times. Now you've also got harmony in reverse, and it says conflict is inevitable. Your response isn't. Choose empathy, listening and compromise. And we're just talking about this, okay? Now anything else? I'm going to get out these here. These ones or those ones? Not these ones. These ones. Okay, I can try to take both. Okay, so let's have a look. So we have here the owl and we have moon in Sagittarius. Be prepared to be adaptable as plans you have laid may take an unexpected course. And then for owl, it says a crisis will allow you to look into yourself and make an important revelation. This is also letting you know that there may be a tower coming towards someone, or I heard that tower will set you free. That tower will set you free. And I don't know who this is for, because you may have had many towers, and in each of those towers you've had to let go of something. But again, you have to remember that no matter if a tower is set by someone else's hand, it still comes from the divine. It's still something that was set in motion because you needed to learn something or let go of something so that you could continue to grow and evolve and vibrate higher. Because if it wasn't meant to be, and if it wasn't divinely orchestrated, then it wouldn't happen, okay? And you've got Gemini moon, moon in Gemini. Stress may be an issue during this time, and it's upside down, okay? Because it goes back to being calm, letting what happens happen. And I don't mean that by just laying down and letting people walk over you, but a breakdown is often followed by a breakthrough. Remain calm. Okay, so this may be, you know, significantly, like I said, someone's going through a dark night of the soul. And look, the time is right for seeking new opportunities. So whatever it is that's coming towards you, the person you're thinking of, another light one, if you're questioning certain things on your path, know that if things do crumble, if things have crumbled, they did for a reason. You trying to hold on to those things that are crumbling, trying to push them back together, is only going to make it crumble faster and make it harder, because the universe only puts that tower there when they, you know, when it's looking down and going, you're not supposed to be doing that, or you're not supposed to be with that person, or your path is supposed to be, they're supposed to be divided. Anything else? Now you've also got moon in Leo in reverse. It's an important time to guard against being self-centered, over-opinionated or pushy, and it's upside down. Okay, so this again is to do with your heart space, being open to change. Now what I would like to do before I go is just get out the zodiacs, the houses, the planets, and see which ones that we should be looking at, because right now, do you want me to read these? This one? Okay, Libra is the 7th sign of the zodiac and is represented by the scales. So this is about fairness, it's about negotiations, but it's also, for me, it's like, if for some reason, why am I getting like Pisces? I feel like this should be Pisces. This is bringing back equilibrium, the ending of something. And then you have Jupiter, is known as the planet of luck and abundance. Where it's placed in your birth chart will uncover how you experience fortune, wealth and success. Someone may want to have a look at where Libra and Jupiter are, or what's in your 7th house and what planet resides over it, because there's something here about reaping the rewards of not only the hard work that you're doing, but it's to do with like our patterns of behavior. that span back into other lifetimes. And this seems to be coming up as a running theme in quite a few of my readings, is that all the stuff that's been happening to us or has happened to us for a very long time, and then we wake up spiritually and go, oh my God, you know, there's stuff going on in the background, or this person's doing this, or that person's trying to energy harvest. There seems to be this running theme through past lives as well. So this is all linked in together. There's a reason why we walk by ourselves for so long, because it's almost like, and this is my opinion, okay, and I always state that because I don't want people going, well, that's not true, that doesn't say it there and there and there. But it's my opinion that many of us who are light ones, that are light workers, that are, you know, priests and priestesses, emperors and empresses, that we were born into karmic families, that we weren't born into soul families. You may have one person in your family who's your soul family, or you might not at all. And that we're placed there with an agreement from our soul before we're placed, you know, in corporeal form. I want to choose this family. And oh, I could have chose that one, or that one. I want to choose this one. This one may be more arduous. This one may be more traumatic, but look at where I get to go. Look at how many people I get to help. Look at how many souls then light up, and then they light up others. Look at this. I'm choosing this one. And we're still on that path. You know, you could be in your 40s, you could be in your 50s, you could be in your 20s, you could be in your 60s, or you know, 70s, and we may not have got to right the end of the purpose that we're supposed to do. But it doesn't mean that when we get to the last, you know, the last breath before we, you know, come out of our corporeal forms, that we won't get the job done, because our Akashic Records knows. And it says on here, the position of Mars in your chart can show how you express anger and what gets you all fired up. And then you've got Libra. This for me as well, there's something here for someone specific about their karmic family, okay, or those that they classed as their family, but it turned out that they were also karmic. And when I say karmic, it just means that that person or that connection was dysfunctional in some way, and there was one energy there that did not wish to learn what the universe was telling them. But this is telling me there is anger. There is still a connection to anger for someone here, whether, you know, classed as a light one or not. And the thing is as well is that anger is not a low vibrational energy. It's not a low vibrational emotion. Anger just points to where we hurt. It's a very loud way of saying, F you, I hurt, okay? Anger only becomes low vibrational when we repress that, when we push it down, when we let it kind of fester, then it becomes stagnant energy. Then we start poisoning ourselves with it. This, to someone here, there's something that they're angry about that wasn't fair. And it might be the fact that they're walking this path by themselves at the moment. It may be that they had to walk this path alone in the past when they felt like they should have been supported, okay? And I think this is the reason why this is coming up with, oh yes, look at that, staying angry is easy, it's letting go that takes work, okay? And this is green, it's all to do with your heart space. Look, heart space and some sort of connection, because you definitely have your ancestors coming through, and you have angels here who are here encouraging you, encouraging any of those that this resonates with, to look at past timelines that did hurt, or people that you've had to walk away, or people that have walked away from you, okay? And with Zadkiel coming out and Raphael, this is definitely to do with heart space healing, and there's an encouragement from those that it resonates with to have a look at violet fire or violet flame meditations or transmissions to help with that. But I think I'm going to leave it there. I hope that gave you some confirmation and clarity on what you already intuitively know. If you are new to my channel and that resonated for you, I would love for you to hit on the like, the subscribe and on the notification bell so you can see more of my content. And if you are a returning subscriber, as always, I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I love your vibes. I love all of the emails and the comments that you send me. I do truly appreciate you reaching out and connecting. So I have a quick drink. Anyone that feels moved to leave a donation, it's never expected, but it's always truly and deeply appreciated, because it means I can put more time, more love and more cards into this channel. And anyone that is looking for a personal reading, all of my information is in the description box down below. If you go to the second paragraph down, there is a row of blue arrows pointing upwards. I've got 2 emails there. With that being said, I hope you guys have a really lovely morning, afternoon, evening or night, wherever you are in the world, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.